So one of the things I've been going through recently is, I don't know if you felt it, it's it is this massive energy of like rushing. We're still in Mars, Sagittarius right now, so the energies of Mars is very much like bursts of like so could be like some sort of philosophical frustrations or things to do with mental, higher education stuff, people's belief systems, people's philosophy, regarding any sort of belief, really. And it comes through with anchors, especially with my Mars. It's probably still in conjunct. I don't know where it is exactly right now, but I think it's probably near Neptune. So a lot of it is like delusions, probably. So I'll have to double check that one. I didn't get to check it today because I wanted to point out the one specific thing. And it's something I've always enjoyed doing because I got into it when I was in like, as far as I can remember, I was grade 6. I was 11 years old. And I first got into this like book, and I was like, oh, it's Japanese, and I thought it was like really cool pictures. It was like they were showing pictures of how to remember, to help. It was mnemonics basically. They were showing how to remember, or memorize in that case, the kana in Japanese. And to me that was like cool because it was like, oh, it's something foreign, something interesting, something different, something, when you have that inspiration of like that feeling of like, oh, you want to go visit someplace, you want to explore, you want to have adventure, you want to just, it's different, it's really foreign. That's part of the things that I find I'm drawn to a lot, and tying that to my to Moon and Aquarius thing, and with the relationship with my sun in Libra and Pluto and all that stuff, I'm very, very drawn to foreign relationships, not necessarily like foreign people. That is part of that as well, but definitely things that are foreign, things that are yet to be explored, things that are it's very Jupiter in energy, for sure, but more about the Sagittarian sort of feel. Now, tying this to my real life, I've always had this link to, I don't know, I've always been drawn to people that are just foreign, people not in my background. Like my parents were from the Philippines, and I've always kind of never really understood that culture. And it's not to say it's just, it's just what it is, and I kind of just grew up on it, and I never really understood it myself. And then now comes, bringing it to the present time, where I'm realizing that it's like, oh, that's why I don't get them, because I don't really understand many humans and the way they behave. I think I'm drawn to that now. So like I realize like my galactic ancestry, I have Ptolemy is conjunct my Mars, and also Antares is conjunct my Mars. So very much like I don't know exactly what it is about Antares. If I look back into my own chart and see if I have Antares here. No, I didn't write it down, but basically it's there. I don't know what the star is. I totally forgot what it was, but definitely something to do with a different culture. A lot of like probably Ptolemy is, I believe, something to do with, it was Alpha Centauri, Beta Centauri. So very much like go-getting, like kind of adventure. Centauri is the stars, is Taurus, the Centauri constellation. Let's take a look. Yeah, Alpha Centauri, the Selosians. So something about, I don't know, there's something in the energy there. I'm still getting to know, like, through the research that other people have done about what it means for me and like why I feel this way. And it's like things are starting to, it's making a lot more sense, and it's just like, wow. So, but tying that into why I still don't understand why most humans do what they do, especially if they haven't awakened, And it's not because it's not their fault. They just don't know, and that's fine. But it definitely the frustration does come through, and it's just like, people who like what's the word? Blah, they feel stuck, and they remain stuck, and they want to be stuck in that drama of, I don't know, I don't want to do this, I want to, so I got tired of that years ago, and just didn't want to be stuck in that whole like, grammar this, grammar that, I'll study this, memorize that. I mean, for some people maybe it might work, but it doesn't work for me. And now I'm learning to be more assertive when it comes to like telling people, it's like, you can do what you want to do. You can, I'm in these exchange like websites, language exchange, and literally 99% of them are pretty much like stuck. And even if you tell them about information, whether you tell them about language acquisition, whether it's the method and it's not the method, whether it's about nature stuff, whether it's about childlikeness or not, it's really about the choices that I find that people make that kind of has been been a test, really, where it's just like, I don't want to do that anymore. As in like, I haven't been doing that at all. Like, maybe sometimes I'll look into my own thing and just doing for myself. But when it comes to relating with people, I don't tap into the textbook stuff. I just like acquire language. I just like absorb it. I watch movies, I watch TV shows. I really like try to bring the culture as much as I can, whenever I can. But I also have other things that I'm very interested in. Like right now, it's my ancestry stuff. That's the one that's a stronger pull, with astrology. And it's really, really much more, I wouldn't say it's a priority, but yeah, in a way, because it's like, at the same time, it's revealing things that I've never known before. And that's, I'm taking my time with it. As you can see, the flag right here, the Slovak flag, because I hang up flags behind the wall here, because to me, it's just a symbol of, it's my interest in things that are foreign. And, I'm foreign meaning like just different, really what it is, right? So, anyways, so the thing that's been kind of I would say I'm allowing myself to be affected by is the stuckness of people. And so I'm just kind of just like tell them, I was like, okay, well, you know what? Do your thing, but this is not what I'm here for. I already put in my profile, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for. And if that's, but just don't expect anything from me. Or don't expect too much, because I'm not going to do it the way you want to, because they don't, and many people just really just don't see it yet. They're very much stuck in that mode of like, and I think it was definitely exacerbated by the pandemic, where people not only were stuck before, but now I feel people they want to remain stuck. And again, it's not about good or bad. It's just the fact that it's like, for me, that's not where I want to go, right? Even when I'm stuck and I feel stuck and I'm afraid to approach people, because maybe they have the virus, let's approach this, let's be direct about it. Maybe I'm afraid that it's like, I might catch something, but it's more like I'm literally taking that leap of faith internally, and it's like going through the motions of like, okay, I'm gonna fucking do it anyways, even though I'm like fucking scared, and I'm just gonna go at it, because I know that deep down, though, it is, I am always guided, and I'm never alone. And sometimes I do forget, and that's okay. That's totally okay. So I just wanted to share this with you, because I wanted to kind of tie this into something that came to me, and I wanted to share a video that I saw recently about Eckhart talking about dogs having no ego, and he said that, because we feel good around dogs or animals specifically because we don't feel judged. And it kind of ties in the same way with how we, when we approach language, still today, many of us still do it this way, where we do you call this? Where it's based off that conditioning of the ego attaching itself and therefore also judging, because we were judged ourselves. Hurt people, right? So, and we don't see the damage it can cause when, say, for example, why correcting and telling them the grammar things, because it ties in with that overuse of the conscious part of the brain, and it doesn't work. And there's a link between that and how the ego is more. The ego is like identification, right? But it's from the subconscious. If it's subconscious, that means the ego has roots in it that is like, or your own personal ego, or whatever it is, doesn't matter. I'm not sure if I'm wording this really right, because I don't really care. The point is that when the subconscious, there's some large fears in there, that's where it's like, it stays in there and it's automatic. This is why we need to train our brain to be more through the use of the conscious. However, conscious is more about being aware of it, but the practice comes through starting from the body. This is why we do things like meditation. This is why we learn how to be present, and then going past that methodology or the method of breathing and the method of yoga, the method of exercise, the method of being present. Really what it is, it's beyond that, because what it is our true essence is just being. It's energy, but we have to practice it. And 3D is that form thing where it's all about categorize. So you're making use of it. But that does not take away from the fact that it can be frustrating at times, because even though we do use the method, we go through methods, we learn about methods. Here's this person has this person has this person has this. Really, in the end, it doesn't matter what the method is. So the method is not what matters. But we forget that it's like, we're stuck in the method. So exactly. So, and that's where fear comes in, and the ego uses that and saying, okay, we have to rely on method, because otherwise it's hard to escape that. Otherwise we don't feel safe. We get stuck in that method. We get stuck in this strategy. We get stuck in that sort of 3D sort of perception or you know what I'm saying? I hope you know what I'm saying. If you don't know what I'm saying, that's totally fine. Eventually it'll come to you. And we're just stuck in that. So it's like, it's I don't know, this is why I think, for the past 1,000 years or whatever, we've been spoon-fed many things. If you can feel the energy, what I'm feeling right now, it's very, not only intense, but it's like, there's a frustration about it, because it's like, and I've always known that I've always known that didn't work. I've always just allowed for the methods to kind of guide me rather than being used by it. Kind of just like, okay, so this is what it is, and then I go from there. This is what it is, and I go from there. Even when it comes to language acquisition itself, when it comes to languages, the methodology or the method of just making time and watching movies in a way that you can say that is a method, because that's a way of doing something, right? But it doesn't have to be just in that, there. It's just you can't just be stuck there. And I think this is why we need to embrace more of the courage and the risk taking. Not to say go out there and kiss every single fucking person. It doesn't mean you go drink it up and have sex and fuck everybody you want to. Like, no, it's not that. It's really about being in the moment and saying, okay. And if it comes to you that intensity you feel through this fear, and you just go with it, and you really surrender to that moment. Like right now, I'm really sharing this because I've had this, like, it's been there where it's like, surrender to the moment. Okay. So this is why sometimes I just kind of like draw back and I'm quiet. I don't say anything, because you don't want to spread the negativity. You don't want to, negativity is a personal thing. It's a personal process. When we process our negativity, we look for things that are the gifts behind it, and we look for, how can we grow out of this? What can we learn from this? Instead of being stuck in that, right? Because there is a difference between, and this ties back into the astrological symbolism, hint symbolism of Neptune. Well, Venus is about relationship, so therefore shadow is kind of like in a way initiated by it. It does rule the 7th house, but it's not the 7th house. But either way, there's a link, right? So when we're in a relationship, we're bound to have that karmic sort of it's like a starting point of karma if we are going at it unconsciously. So that's Venus. A higher vibration is Neptune, and therefore it's it's relating, but it's more like idealized relationships, idealized connections, idealized love. But even going beyond that, right? What is it? Haumea? A huge list here. Okay, here we go. Venus was Haumea, that's right. So Haumea was the goddess, Hawaiian goddess of fertility. She was the seed. She was but it was really true unconditional trust in nature, in your inner self, in your love. So I mean, I don't know if that's really truly can be considered a higher vibration of Neptune, but according to Astro.com it is. So in a way it doesn't matter. In a way it can be, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that when we're elevating, the point of this symbolism is that when we're elevating. We go past beyond these limits, these limitations of labels and labels, because I mean, it's there's a difference between being attached to labels and just being married to it versus seeing it for what it is, and it's just okay. It's a stepping stone, right? Just like words. So, because this is what I always tell my students, I tell at work, I tell my students who are traditionally learning. I already have that at work. It's fine. It's part of my job. It's just a job, right? Grateful for it, for sure. Definitely grateful for it. But I always tell them, I said, language is not about the words. Language is not about the grammar. It's not about any of those things. It's context, but even what's more important, it's not the term of context. It's not the terminology of context. It's not the label of context. It is experience, right? What else are we in here for, right? So, and it can be kind of, like I said, going back to all this, it can be quite frustrating. But I'm just really being honest about it, and I don't need to spread any sort of negativity because that's my own personal thing to deal with. But one thing I did learn is just with the video today and with making a choice. I actually saw 2 videos today that came up in my feed, and it was just like, okay, thank you for the reminder, So that's the reason why we don't like being judges, because when we're not judged, we're free to roam, we're free to be ourselves, we're free to just live in that love. Call it Venusian, whatever you want, Neptune, whatever. We're free to be. So when we're talking about, whether you're talking about relating people or just even something simple as being really going for that whole, the passion of language learning or whatever you want to call it, but acquisition, doesn't matter. For me, it is that sort of, I have this inner knowing that it's okay, well, it's natural, it has to be natural. Because when I say it has to be, I mean because that's just the pull. The pull is to be more natural. The pull is to be more authentic. And that's language stuff is not separate from that at all. It could be food, it could be medicine, it could be personality, it could be relationship, it could be money, it could be career, it could be whatever. But it's really that authentic. So how does language all fit into this, like authenticity? Well, yeah, because of the whole, well, for me, it's a pull. So, but anyways, I keep coming across this kind of stuff. And it is in my third house stuff, it's, so it's something that I'm still continuously still kind of growing out of. Again, the Pluto thing is really helping me to, the inner Pluto myself is trying to flay away that ego sort of like attachment to the outcome, because I can sense it right away. It's like there's this outcome that I want, and even if it's not really like perfection, more like there's still an attachment to the outcome of like people should be this way, people should be that way. Rather than doing that, it should be more about, okay, well, I'll do what I do. And yes, language does tie into relationship because it has a correlation. You can't really acquire, really like be natural, like toddlers and babies pick up languages naturally, because this all ties to fluency. But it can't be with people who are not open, therefore not awakened to being more natural and being more. When I say natural, I always get this or get reminded of this one of persons I'm helping. He said like, "What's natural?" He doesn't understand. He's very much like there. He's there, and that's what it is. So that's his journey. I'm not there to judge that. I'm here to just be. And yeah, but for myself, I definitely have to focus on more. Okay. So one of the things definitely I'm learning to let go is people. My outcome, the attachment to the outcome, that people should be a certain way, people will respect what I want, or people respect what, at least in a very egoic sort of way, even in a health, even for as a healthy ego-wise, we're learning to really let that go. But I can learn to let that go for sure by just being in the moment. And anyways, yeah. So anyways, that's all. I just kind of wanted to share that. It all ties in. I'll post in the video of this guy. I've been following him. It's really cool because he has this message of like, are we gonna live in fear, or are we gonna live in love, right? So lower or higher, right? So, and for me, definitely higher, and it's okay that other people are not there yet. That's what it is. But it definitely, a lot of cord cutting, a lot of, that kind of stuff. Really, and create the boundaries from the very, very start. And say like, if when it comes to at least particularly like language stuff, if we're not on the same boat or we're not vibing, that's okay. Do your thing. I'll do my thing. And being very honest and straightforward with it. Really, because I'm honoring my journey right now. Being more childlike, being more fun, and being more adventurous, and really courageous, no matter what it is. By also being in the present. Because, I could be dead tomorrow, and if I didn't live a meaningful life like right now, okay, this is where the moment is where it all counts. Anyways. The point is, that's the post for today. I hope somehow it gave you some insight. And that's the intent energy. Work with it if you want to. You can reuse the energy that you feel today, that you've been feeling for the past, weeks, and it's still going to be there. And make use of it so that you can, right? It's a Sagittarius, so focus where the energy is going. You don't have a choice. In any case, that's all for today. Thank you so much for the video. Stay tuned for the other videos I'm posting. It's not really videos, more like meditation stuff. It's like for you to use. You go ahead and use it. You'll see it. It's for specific signs and specific keys that it's in. So looking forward to seeing how that works. We'll see how it goes. In any case, life is good. Thank you so much. Much gratitude for everything. Always here and now. Thank you so much.